Hey everybody, I'm Mike Steele with BBQ Champs Academy, and it's so great to be with you here on this Tuesday night. And we are looking forward to this show with everybody tonight. I just got a phone call just a minute ago with our featured guest, Mr. Robby Royal with Rescue Smokers. And Robby is an EMT guy, and he got called out about 45 minutes ago. So he had someone that had a heart attack. He had to go out. So we're hoping that he will be on here maybe in another 20 or 30 minutes is what he's thinking. So we're going to just give him a little time. But in the meantime, we'll just see if we can pull this off. We'll do a question and answer session until we see if we can get Robby here. Certainly want to be able to answer a lot of questions. So we always are able to be willing to adapt anytime that we can. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So we'll still make a good show out of it. As you come in, please let us know. And I see we've got several folks that are popping in, and we're looking forward to tonight's show. We do have a couple of big announcements that we can make, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Before I get started, as always, I want to thank our partners that make all of this stuff possible. Be Extreme Barbecue, Mr. Danny Helms. I certainly do want to thank him and their support. With Terry also being a part of BBQ Champs Academy, it is so great to have Terry on board, and I know Terry and Danny have teamed up and have got a great line of rubs, and they have just been absolutely crushing it this year. Also, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies, we want to thank all of their stores, for both their stores, for stepping up and carrying a lot of the rubs and stuff that we have. It's so great to have suppliers that can have one-stop shop for all of our supplies that we show in our classes, all the rubs and stuff. Also, our good friends at B&B Charcoal, absolutely love their charcoal. We've had Ed on here in the past doing some Charcoal 101, and we're probably going to try to get him back on here to talk a little bit more in depth about that. I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. Also, we've got a Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop with Mr. Brian Crawford and his great rubs that he has, the Crawford BBQ Pit products. I tell you what, Brian has just really stepped up. He carries about 95% of all the rubs that we have in our class, and we certainly do want to appreciate him. My good friend Craig Sherry at Texas Pepper Jelly. David at Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Now look, all of you folks that have bought classes from us, especially the All Access class, we have told you there's a coupon that you can use to get 30% off his already discounted holiday special that he is running on 3 of his knives in the Lightning Pro Cut Series knives. And if you haven't been into the forum, the private forums yet, you need to do so. If you have bought a class from us and you don't have that coupon, reach out to me in a private message, but you can get another 30% off his holiday special that he's got. And I'm telling you what, them Gunnar Wilhelm knives, they are absolutely incredible at how sharp they are. Also, we've got Tapacue. Now, we was going to try to have them on tonight, but we was just not able to get connected with them. We've got some big interest in some of their product that they have, especially their wireless meat probe. We're going to be working with them to see if we can get that little meat probe a little bit smaller instead of that big fat 6mm diameter that it is. We're going to see if we can get this thing down a little bit to where it'll go in a steak, and you'll be able to monitor your steaks on a wireless meat probe. So that's something that we're looking at for helping them out, but we certainly do want to thank them, and also Kel with Barbecue News Magazine. Hey, as you come on board, let us know. We'll certainly reach out to you. I see there's Mr. Frank. How you doing, buddy? I saw that you was up in Arkansas this weekend, and I know that John said he had a good time visiting with you. Also, Mr. Scott. Scott, hope you're doing well up there. Stay warm. There's Mr. Rick. Certainly do appreciate you guys as well. We got several more coming on. There's Miss Caitlin. How are you doing tonight? There's Miss Consistency, this girl. You know what? I tell you what, I got to get her on here. This is Matt Overson's sister. And they done agreed to do a throwdown, wanting to cook off against each other. And my money's on Marissa. I tell you what, that girl's got it going on. So congratulations, Marissa. Another outstanding job. There's my good buddy, Mr. Terry Roan. We was talking about you just a second, Terry. Glad to have you on tonight. I should have called you Robby got called out on he's an EMT, got called out on a call about 40 minutes ago, and he's like, Mike, I may be running just a few minutes late. And I was like, well, let me make some phone calls. So I tried to call Joey Smith. He couldn't get on. I tried to call Lee Hickle. He was out. John Lindsay was at a Christmas party. So I was like, hey, don't worry. I talk to myself a lot. So we'll just be on here and we'll have a good time. And we're going to do a question and answer session until we can get Robby on here. So there's Mr. Mark himself. Thank you, Mark, for the great article that you wrote for us in the BBQ News magazine. So, Scott, yep, I'm glad that you like those Gunnar Wilhelm knives. I'm telling you what, it's one of the best knives that I have ever come across. We're going to end up doing a podcast, just a live show on just those knives and going into a little bit more in depth about them. So I can't wait to do that. I see Caitlin also got her knives. Yes, glad you're enjoying them. Mr. Jim, glad to have you here. Team Arcasipi is in the house. Certainly glad to have you join us. There's Chris Carden. Glad to have you here, Chris. Appreciate your support and the classes that you have bought. Appreciate that so much. There's Miss Mary. Glad you like the knives. We got a lot of people. I think the last I had talked to David, he had over 35, 40 orders that had come in. So certainly do appreciate all you guys taking advantage of that. And we always are going to try to bring up something for you to be able to get good deals. And we thought that one was an absolute amazing deal. So Mr. Bill Manning, good to have you here, buddy. I hope to be able to cook that cook-off down in South Texas. I know you told me to get it on my schedule. I am definitely trying to do it. It looks like it's going to be a fun one, and it's always great to be with you. Let's see who else we got. Miss Vanessa, how are you doing? Glad to have you and Chuck on. Certainly do appreciate your support as well. Mr. Justin, I hope you are doing well. Glad to have you on the show. We're just going to kind of go through some of these. Let us know if you're here. Just trying to burn up a little bit of time, but at the same time, kind of like John does, we always like to recognize our guests that we have on. There's Sean, and sometimes it happens, but we'll get through it, and it's going to be fine. There's Mr. Randy. Glad to have you here. There's Mr. Sean. So glad. Yes, see, you can handle a solo show. I think I can. I don't think there's going to be no big problem. I told Robby, don't worry about it. We'll get through it. So it's going to be a good show. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're just gonna roll on through it. It's going to be a great show. It's the Gunnar Wilhelm knives, Eric. It's the Lightning Pro Cut series. You can get the 30% off the 3.5-inch paring knife, the 6-inch bony knife, and the 8-inch chef knife. And if you have bought classes from us and you don't have that code, if you reach out to me, I'll verify the classes that you've bought. If you just send me a private message or email me at info@bbqchamps.com, I'll get you that code and get 30% off those knives. But those are absolutely amazing. Chris, good to have you on board. And yes, Terry, they are wicked sharp. Nathan, as always, know that you're usually always on our show, and we always appreciate you being here. So, any sneak peeks on upcoming Pitmaster classes? Yeah, we got some Pitmasters coming. They're right around the corner, Bill. We actually filmed another steak cooker yesterday. I think everybody's going to be very pleased with the new cook that we have added. And we hope to have both our new BBQ Pitmaster and our new steak grill master out probably sometime in January. We're working on them. So we do appreciate everybody so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all the people that have supported us, that have made BBQ Champs Academy what it is. We try to just continue to crank out incredible content, incredible video, and I know it has helped so many, and that is the whole reason of doing BBQ Champs Academy. So anyway, yes, Be Extreme line of rubs behind us. Absolutely. I've got them all on display. And if you haven't tried their sauce, I know I'm always talking about their rub, but we don't ever talk about that sauce. And I'm telling you what, if you have not tried Be Extreme's their barbecue sauce, it is absolutely amazing. So let's see. So Robby is the EMS director, and still goes on calls. Yep. He does. I mean, Robby is just a player. It doesn't matter what it is. If he's got to get out and go do it, he'll go out and do it. So, Mike, still, are they doing barbecue competitions on Saturday, January 16th in Shreveport? Yes, it's just going to be Friday night. That's going to be the competition. It's going to be in Blanchard, Louisiana. It's going to be the 15th is the SCA competition. And then on the 16th is the BCA competition. That's one of the organizations that I cook. It's right here in my backyard. It's literally 15, 20 miles from the house. And I will be there. I look forward to meeting a lot of you steak cookers there. We certainly do hope that y'all will come. It'll be a wonderful opportunity for me to get out and meet some of you guys. I may slip out either to Laurel at the end of the year. I'm thinking about just trying to get out to one of these, or maybe I think there's a big competition over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I may get over there to go to one of them, but I am perhaps going to try to get out to one of these competitions. There's so many of you SCA steak cookers that I just would love. I have not cooked many steak competitions in my life. I think the last one I did was 4 years ago. It was down in, I can't remember, it was in Texas. And there was 67 teams, and I finished 4th place. And I think that was my second SCA steak competition that I'd ever done. Hadn't cooked another one since, but it was a fun time indeed. So, yeah, I hope you'll be there, Frank, and be looking forward to meeting you. How much is getting a full class again? I'm about to drop a hint to my wife about Corey Mike's class. Yeah, Sean, the all-access class is $599. It gets you access to all 4 meats: brisket, ribs, pork butt, and chicken. And you also, with that, get a private Facebook page where you can ask Corey questions at any time. So if you do want that for a gift, we do have gift cards available on BBQ Champs Academy. Make sure that you go and take a look at that. The classes, we have it for our backyard classes, all the way to our steak grill master classes, and then it'll even carry you right on over into the full-blown barbecue class as well. And I'll do a quick screen share and kind of show you guys where this is at on the website. Like I said, we're going to have a question and answer. Hopefully, Robby's going to be able to get here in just a second. But this is on our homepage, on our website. As soon as you come in, you can go in here. The perfect gift is now available for the grilling and barbecue enthusiast that has everything. As soon as you come in, you can go click the gift card. It's going to take you here. And we've got these cards where you can personalize them. You can buy 3 individual barbecue classes for $23.94. You can buy 6 of them for $47.98. This is our all-access backyard class. Gets you all 20 of them for $99. The individual steak class, you can pick out any class that you want. That's the $149. The all-access is $169. And here is where you can pick up the BBQ Pitmaster classes. A single class is $249. The all-access class, if you're wanting, Sean, to get Corey's class, just have your wife buy this one. Then you can go pick out any one that you want. There's the one that we have for Lee Hickle. The cool thing about it, you can also customize these. So if I go in and click Buy Now, I can go in. If I want to give it as a Christmas present, I can click Merry Christmas, just like I did. If this is for Father's Day or a birthday, I can go in. I can customize it. So I can go click Merry Christmas. I can type in who it's from, who it's going to. You can have this to go out where we can email it to them. And it'll be in their email on the date that you set up for delivery. Or if you want to print it out, you can send it to yourself. You can print it out, and then you can put it in a card for when they come over. So we do have multiple ways to get this out to people, but we have sold a ton of gift cards in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So anyway, just to let you know, so that's the best way. If you want to give these as a gift, or if you want your wife to get you something as a gift, tell them to go buy a gift card. Best way to do it. You've done a great job developing these classes. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support, man. I tell you what, from the very beginning, you have been right there and have bought almost every class that we have. Thank you so much, Bill, for your support in the beginning. It was people like you that kept us going to keep this thing moving, and I really do want to thank you for what you have done. You have become an incredible, accomplished barbecue pitmaster, and I'm just so happy for you. And your new trailer that you got is absolutely awesome. I got a chance to see that down in Hempstead. So Let's see. I want to hear about some combinations on how they pair those Texas pepper jellies together. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of different ways you can use Texas pepper jelly, from pouring it over ice cream to pouring it over cream cheese to pouring in. You can use it in so many different ways, from brisket, ribs, pork butt, chicken. We used it on chicken wings. There's just so many different ways that you can go about using those pepper jellies. There's Mr. Hotty Toddy himself, Mr. Ronald Burns. Mr. Ronald, good to have you in the house tonight. You guys had an amazing show last night, and certainly was glad to be part of that for just a few moments as we made all those announcements. And I really do appreciate you stepping up and doing the little, the Arcasippy Shuffle. And I was able to get another $100 to go to Hope Landing in that great cause. And I still need to get with John so I can get you guys the money. I want y'all to get that to Hope Landing, or give me the information, and I'm going to send them that $100. I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in just a second. Mike Steele, who do you recommend for hotels in Blanchard? You know, there's a lot of hotels around. The casinos are not very far from Blanchard. You probably got a 10-minute trip from Blanchard up to the casinos. So if you want to stay there, you can. If you don't like staying at a casino and you'd rather stay somewhere else, there is some. Trying to think the nearest one from Blanchard. Probably going to end up having to find something that's going to be over by the airport. That wouldn't be too far. That's probably going to be your closest ones. Not a lot of great hotels in that area. We don't have a ton of really nice hotels. Shreveport's relatively small. Most people end up going to the casinos. Samstown Casino has got some great, or Samstown Hotel's really great right there. They got some nice rooms. And probably going to be your best bet to try to find a nice hotel. So if you don't want to stay at where a casino is, and I would understand that, just reach out to me, Caitlin, and let me know, and I'll find you one that's a really nice hotel to stay at. So you can't go wrong with the dust on a ribeye steak. No, you cannot. Let's see. Corey Mike's class is outstanding. Yes, Rick, I would have to agree with you. We've had so many people that have taken Corey's class and have done absolutely amazing. On non-barbecue note, my wife got the COVID shot today, and it's all looking good. Well, that's good. I know a lot of people have been concerned with that, and I know a lot of people are wanting to take it, and know some are just reluctant to taking it, but everybody's got to make that choice on their own, but I'm glad she's doing well with it. Let's see, combination SCA and IBC event coming up in New Caney, January the 23rd. Yep, Bill, I know you've taken some SCA classes. I hope that you'll maybe venture out and doing one of those. So Corey's class placed 8th, first comp out of 60 teams. Three top 10 calls, first cook on a Jambo. Man, that is awesome. I remember when you did that, Rick, and it was so good to see you jumping out and immediately doing good. We've had people taking Corey's class all over the United States and have done incredibly well. Steve Dodson, which is a backyard cooker, won Team of the Year this year using Corey's recipe and did absolutely amazing. So yes, they are really, really good classes. We got classes for IBCA, we got them for BCA, and we got them for KCBS as well. So Barbecue Champs is an amazing thing. Thank you, Caitlin. We appreciate it. Let's see. Used Texas pepper jelly on our Thanksgiving turkey this year. Yes, in our backyard class. I cook the same thing, Sean. It's absolutely delicious. I take that cranberry rib candy and pour right over. I think it was which one did I use? The apple cranberry, I think, was the one that I used on it. Absolutely delicious. So, Mike, my husband Dale is listening on his way to work. Could you tell that I want another class for Christmas? Hint, hint. Hey, go get her a class. Buy her a gift card. You'll be good to go. All right, so with that said, there's a couple announcements that I do want to make. Now, this past weekend, we did a BBQ Champs Academy alumni showdown. And what it was we had, I think, 3 or 4 areas that was cooking SCA events this weekend. I know we had one in Arizona. We had one in Arkansas. I think one down in Florida. I think there was another one up in Pennsylvania. And what we did is we had a contest set up that anybody that was an alumni of BBQ Champs Academy, we did it last weekend. We're going to do it for the next 2 weekends. And we got this coming up weekend. We're off Christmas weekend, and then we have the final weekend coming up. I know there's some big events over in Laurel and also in Fort Worth, Texas, the Fort Worth, Dallas area. And so here's the rules. We're going to tweak the rules just a little bit from what we had. This weekend, if you go out and you're cooking an SCA, this is what we're asking you. If you're one of our alumni that's taking a class, when you go on stage, which we want you to do, if you've got a call in a top 10, make the shout out from the stage that you took a BBQ Champs Academy class and the State Grill Masters class that you took. Let it be known. Then I want you to post it on your Facebook page, how you did at that competition. I want you to tag us at BBQ Champs Academy. When you put the @ sign in front of it, that links it to our Facebook page. So here's the rules. Go in, you get a top 10 call, make the announcement that you took a class from us and whose class you took. Post your results on your Facebook page, how you did. And then make sure you tag me, Mike Steele, and if you don't do that, at least put the @ BBQ Champs Academy. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at all the final scores. It does not matter about going to taste. We're going to look at who had the highest overall score out of all the competitions, and whoever had the highest overall score, you're going to get $100 from us. This weekend we paid 2 spots. Actually, we paid 3 spots. And the reason I did that was we had 3 of our cookers this weekend that took our classes that finished in first place. 2 of them was in Arizona and 1 of them was in Pennsylvania. And I just said, to me, I was like, I told John and Ronald Burns last night, I said, if Robert was the winner and Robert Dodge was the one that won the class, the way that we had the rules, he had a 252.4, but Steve Conaway had a 251.3. He also had a first place. There was one other man that had Roth had a first place up in Pennsylvania. And I just said, the heck with it. I'm going to get everybody $100. You hit a first place, I'm going to pay $100 for everybody that hit a first place. Now, I can't continue to always do that, but I thought that was unique that we had 3 of our alumni had a first place this past weekend in SCA. So with that said, this weekend, if you're an SCA cook, I want you to go in, if you make a top 10 call, just so you'll know, shout out BBQ Champs Academy, whose class you took. Make sure you post it on your Facebook page. Put at bbqchamps.com so I'll know it. I'll be able to follow it. And then we're going to look at the overall scores. If you made the shout out and you made the post on your Facebook page, then we're going to pay you $100 for the cook that had the overall highest score. Now, you may have finished third place with a 253, and somebody may have finished first place with the 250. The 253 is going to win it, the highest score. If there happens to be a tie, then the tiebreaker will go down to taste. If there's a tie in taste, heck, I'm just going to pay both of y'all at that point. So, anyway, but it's just something that we want to do on BBQ Champs to give back to all of our customers that have taken our state classes. We're going to do that this coming weekend. It'll be off a weekend for Christmas, and then the final weekend again, we'll do it one more time. It's just my way of saying thank you for everyone supporting us, and we just wanted to kind of give back to everybody. If anybody's got any questions, we're going to kind of open this up to a little question and answer. I just kind of wanted to go through and talk a little bit about that. I definitely wanted to talk about this deal with the SCA and the way that we was doing it. I think we originally said we was going to go off the taste score. I don't want to do the taste score. It's a little too hard for me to see it in the standings. Usually everybody posts a final sheet. That's the overall score. That's the one that we want to go off of. We want the person that had the highest one. So, and we had another first place in Arkansas. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. You are right, Terry. I tell you what, we've got a lot of amazing cooks that have taken our classes that have done so well, and that's 4. And I thought it was just 3. 4 different people that took our classes this weekend finished number 1. If you've got any questions for me, let me know. We're still waiting. Hopefully Robby will be able to make it on here. If he can, great. If not, I'll just talk and answer questions that anybody may have. And we'll see if we can keep this show going. We've got a lot of exciting things coming for 2021, and we have, as of right now, we have 1 new state cooker, 1 new BBQ Pitmaster. We're in talks with another state cooker that is wanting to perhaps come on as well. We're not going to make any names made yet until we know for sure. and you'll find out when they'll just pop up on the site one day and you'll see their videos. So we are working on that. We are working on a whole nother category for BBQ Champs Academy. We're going to continue to expand what we're doing. We're very, very excited about this. We hope that's going to come sometimes probably in March. And I think a lot of people's going to like what we're expounding on. So we got a lot of big things. Got a question here. With the competition brisket, do you cook low and slow or hot and fast? Well, Caitlin, I happen to be a low and slow cooker. I cook my brisket at 260 degrees. I've got a Cadillac Cooker rotisserie smoker. I'm about one of the only ones that I know of in the IBCA that uses a rotisserie cooker. I absolutely love it, but I cook my brisket at 260 degrees, and then I cook it for about 4.5 hours. It's 4.5 hours, and then I wrap it. I wrap it in tinfoil, and then when that baby gets to that magic tenderness for IBCA, that's when I pull it, let it rest for about an hour and a half, slice it, and then I try to go pick up my check. So if everything goes well, I usually do pretty good. Brisket is probably one of my absolute strongest categories. So let's see, is the new steak cook male or female? Scott, I tell you what, you're just trying to figure this out, ain't you? So, well, I will tell you this, here we go, the new cook that we do have coming out in January is going to be a male. We still have some other people, though, that we are talking to, perhaps females, I don't know, maybe a couple more males. I don't know. I'll keep you the suspense to wait. So, anyway, but it's going to be fun. We got a great cook coming, and it's going to be wonderful. So let's see. Cooks do it both ways. Yep, there are a lot of people that cook hot and fast. Bill, I can't remember. Are you a hot and fast? I know you're cooking. I think you're cooking on the stumps or a gravity fed now. I know yours is low and slow because I've seen you posting a lot of times at 10, 11 o'clock at night. You already got your brisket on. So what's your cooking process there, buddy? How long does it take you to cook that brisket? Let's see. I do hot and fast. Yeah, Jim, I tell you what, there's a lot of people that are rolling hot and fast. I keep thinking, man, it sure would be nice. I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm at my IBCA Cooks. I get up at 3. My brisket goes on at 4. It's usually done in 8 to 8.5 hours, so it's usually 12 or 12:30. I can rest it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then it comes out and we start getting ready for our turn in at 3 o'clock on brisket. So, but I tell you what, it sucks getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've often wondered about turning that thing up to maybe 300 degrees and see if I could get an extra hour's sleep. But I'm not messing with my brisket. My brisket has been my money maker since day one. The very, very first competition that I ever cooked at in my life was an IBCA Texas State champion over in Dallas, Texas. It was the first cookout that I ever went to. I think there was 48 teams. And I had an 11th place rib and a first place brisket at my first competition I ever cooked. And needless to say, at that point, I was absolutely hooked, leaving that Texas State championship. So, and that was it. I mean, from that point, I just decided, hey, I'm hooked into the barbecue scene. That was in 2013. I cooked the one cook that year. It was at the very end of the year. 2014 was my first full year of cooking. And I think that year we had 6 top 10 finishes in brisket. My first year, I think I had 3 top 10 finishes in ribs. Chicken was my nemesis. I finally got one of them across the finish line. I think I had a 7th place chicken, 1 call that year, and that was in 2014. 2015 continued to roll, do pretty well. Brisket was always doing good. I struggled with ribs, and finally toward the end of the year, I finally got some rib calls, started figuring some things out with that. You don't overcomplicate it, I'll tell you that, with IBCA. You better keep it simple because you're cooking for local judges. Had a pretty good year in 2017. Continued to just still do very, very well with my brisket, my ribs. Chicken started getting pretty consistent. And then in 2018, we had an absolute banner year. It was one of my best years that I ever had. We had 13 competitions that year. I had 12 top 10 finishes in chicken, 12 top 10 finishes in ribs, and 12 top 10 finishes in brisket. And the last 5 competitions of the year, I had a grand, a reserve grand, and a grand. And during that stretch, I had a first place brisket, a second place brisket, a first place brisket, and a first place brisket. And it was a banner year for me in 2018, and we had done very, very well. And then that's when I just decided that right after that, going into 2019, is when we decided we was going to do BBQ Champs Academy. And we was really starting to see a lot of decline in the competitions. I wanted to see this sport grow. I saw what was going on with SCA, that it was just doing amazing. And I just wanted to see if we could do things to help the barbecue competitions grow. And that's when the vision of BBQ Champs Academy came about. And I just said, I need to reach out to some world champion pitmasters, and we want to see if we can bring the elite, the best of the best. When you can go in and start getting cooks, like Robby Royal and Corey Mikes and Joey Smith. Joey had just won the Houston Livestock and Show and Rodeo along with Mark Lambert, and called Joey, got him on board. Joey's cooks with Mark. We got Mark Lambert on board. Lee Hickle was on a blistering pace to win IBCA Cook of the Year in 2019, so we reached out to Lee, and actually I cooked against him in Shreveport, and he was parked right next to me, and I said, man, if you keep this up, I got something big I want to get you in on. So we had Lee come aboard, then we had Sterling Smith, we had Craig Sherry, and then this year we got Mr. David Bosca as well. So we've been very fortunate to bring some really, really good cooks in the barbecue arena, and then last year we started off with Sean and Alan Rapolo, and then this year that's when we brought in John Lindsay, and then Terry Roan, and then we brought in Matt Overson. And, we just felt like at that point we had a pretty strong group of people. I have people joke with me all the time, when are you going to do your class? I don't have a world champion next to my name, and I just don't want to do it. I just think I want to focus on other people. I want to focus on these world champions and these people that are out just doing very, very good, big championships and stuff like that. It's not about me. It never was about me. And besides, I wouldn't have nobody to host. And if I'm sitting up there in front of a camera all the time, y'all might get bored with me. So anyway, let's see. Mike gives some rib cooking tips. Rib cooking tips. Well, if you're cooking, it depends on, Vanessa, Chuck, if it's backyard or if it's competition. To me, an IBCA, we cook for backyard judges. So I kind of cook my ribs at a lower temperature. I like to cook my ribs at 250. I usually cook them for a couple hours. I'll wrap them up in tinfoil. I'll get them till they're nice and tender. And then once they're nice and tender, I'll take them out and I'll put some sauce on them. I'll set that sauce for about 15 minutes and then put them in the box. And then, hopefully we had a good enough rib to win that day. We had a very, very good year this year in ribs and brisket. I don't remember how many first place. I think I had 2, 3. I think I had 3 first place ribs this year. I know I had several top 10 calls, and my ribs and brisket was very, very solid this year. Chicken, I kind of struggled a little bit early on in chicken. I think maybe toward the end of the year I went back to using my 22-inch WSM cooker, and I had played around with a little Weber kettle and grill grates, and I was just trying something different, and I just said, go back to what you do. And that's what I did. And I've been very happy the last couple of competitions when I went back to that. So let's see. Mr. Danny Helm says low and slow. And let's see. I need all that rub and sauce behind you. Yeah, I've got a bottle or two of rub back here. Darnell, we got quite a few of them, and it's really good. A lot of these are cookers that we've had that are on here. Some of them are our partners that are on our show. Of course, Mr. Terry Roan uses all these amazing products, including his, where's his steak dust at? There it is. That's the one that Mr. Terry Roan is proud of. That's the one that got him that 2018 world champion, and that is some amazing stuff. So we got quite a few rubs. Let's see. Can a gravity feed, pellet, or offset? I don't use a can. I cook, like I said, on a rotisserie smoker. I know a lot of people have switched over to the cans, the drum smokers, and they definitely impart a different flavor on brisket and ribs for sure. So I know a lot of people are doing that. I don't have a lot of experience with the gravity feeds. I know that Robby does, Bill Manning, let me know if you cook on a gravity fed. I can't remember if yours is. I love my little pellet cooker. I've got a Green Mountain Grill Jim Bowie that I use around the house a lot of times for cooking like our bacon wrap pork tenderloins and bacon wrap meatloafs and stuff like that. These are classes that's in our backyard barbecue classes. And I love that little pellet cooker. I tell you what, those Green Mountain Grills put out a lot of smoke. So they are absolutely wonderful. I absolutely do love those. Rectech pellet cookers, yep, they're very, very good as well. Mr. James, this is another one of our backyard cookers. He has absolutely been tearing it up. He has taken several of our barbecue classes and steak classes, and he has done an amazing job. So, let's see. I'm not low. I'm not fast. I'm just half fast. Well, I tell you what. I think I've taken up enough of your time. I see that we have the star, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend that we all hope to be one day, Mr. Robby Royal. I see he just popped onto the stream. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. So, Robby, buddy, I held it down till you got here, man. They didn't all leave, and I appreciate everybody staying. So, we had a good time talking about a lot of things, and we'll get a chance now to talk with you a little bit. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm sorry I'm late, but job comes first.
Job comes first. That's one thing about you, Robby. People can say a lot of things about you that they want. And I know you got a bad rap on BBQ Pitmasters, but I tell you what, there is no man right here that's got a bigger heart than that guy right there. He will do more stuff for you than you would ever imagine. So, Robby, see if you can turn your phone or your iPad around and see if you get a bigger picture on the screen. No, it didn't get. Yep, there it is. I figured it would. There we go. Let's see if we can get this picture a little bit bigger. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that looks better? Good. Just look at the camera now instead of the screen.
Yeah.
There we go. Just like that. So, Robby, I appreciate it. I know I explained to everybody that you got called out about 45 minutes before you was supposed to come on.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate it. We appreciate you, what you do, man. We love you dearly you're a big inspiration to a lot of people. I mean, here the guy is, he's still got his EMS director shirt. He's the director and he's still out at 8:00 having to get out and go make calls. So
that's part of life nowadays for sure.
It really
times,
is.
Mike.
It really is. Well, let's see. Robby is the best. Yep, we got a few points. Anybody's got any questions for Robby? Certainly let us know, and we'll get them. We'll get to asking him. So, Robby, how have you been, man? It's been probably 3 months since we've had you on the show. How you been doing?
Been doing great. Been working our butts off, as you know. Did get to cook a couple of competitions in October, and.
Yep.
Fared pretty well there. Took a first place rib. I think I took a 4th overall at one and a 6th overall at the other event. And I hadn't practiced any, so to have those calls and having not cooked since March the 3rd or 4th, 5th, whatever that weekend was, I was extremely pleased and definitely missing it. It's a different world we live in, and looking forward to hopefully a better year in 2021 for everybody.
Yeah, amen, brother. I'm telling you right now, it has been a weird year. I mean, the steak cookers, God bless them. They have just been rolling,
Yeah.
but the barbecue stuff has just been pretty rough. So, and that's just been hard on all of us. So, I heard you say you hadn't got a chance to practice. Robby, do you practice a lot, or are you pretty much well set that your times and stuff that you just roll out and go do it?
I love what I've been doing as far as pork. I think my pork is really good, and it's been very consistent. I've been cooking that recipe that's on BBQ Champs for 10 years now, 9 or 10 years now, and I haven't changed it. The rubs don't change. If anything changes, it would be the sauce. I might spice it up a little bit, but as far as practice, no. On a normal contest, a normal comp year, we're cooking 20-22 weekends a year, and it's hard to practice at home. Trying
Yeah.
to fit the life with the wife and the grandkids in, and just trying to enjoy life other than barbecue.
Right.
But
Right.
still teaching a couple of classes a year, which is COVID's killed that too. But really enjoy chatting with my folks on my BBQ Champs page, and trying to keep them updated. Made a few tweaks at these couple of competitions. I wouldn't call it tweaks. I tried some crazy stuff, and it worked once. It worked on ribs and didn't work on playing around with loin, And
Right.
When you're teaching a lot of folks and you're going against folks that have taken your class, you got to try to find other little things that work. But as far as practicing, hardly ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. People ask me that all the time. Do you practice for what? It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the judges think. I can think it's great, but it matters what the judges think. So,
sure.
I've rolled out a couple new recipes in 2018, and my wife about killed me. We was over in Minden, Louisiana, and I said, I'm going to run a whole new rib recipe. And she said, you're going to do what? And I said, I always cook ribs meat down. I said, I'm going to cook my ribs meat up and all new rubs and new sauce and everything. She said, you had a second place here last year. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I said, there's always room for improvement. I could get first, and I hit a first place rib. And I was like, see, I told you it was a good rib. See, to me, that's how I know I got it. And I had never changed my brisket recipe. My brisket recipe had been the same from the very beginning until 2017, 2018. I think it was 2018 when I did that. And I said, I'm going to try a new brisket recipe. And she said, I know you've lost your mind. I did it at the same competition. And she said, your brisket has been solid. I said, I just want to try it. Well, I tried it, and it hit I think it hit sixth place. And I was like, hey, that's pretty good. So I'm one of them kind that if it ain't good enough to get through, I might cook it twice, but I won't cook it no more than 2 times. And I just want to try it. So
that's my philosophy: is if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I have had my recipes, whether it be pork, ribs, brisket, chicken, to anyone that cooks a lot for a lot of years. I've been cooking hard as the rescue smoker since 2006, and your flavor profiles will come back around. And it won't take but a year or so. Stick with what you're doing. If you are going to try some tweaks, little bitty tweaks, you don't swing for the fences or anything like that.
That's right.
You definitely just make little minor tweaks. And but as far as practice, I'll play around with sauces, but I won't actually cook competition meats on a regular basis, unless I'm cooking for the volunteer firefighters and my guys at EMS and stuff like that. I might run 2 different kinds of ribs and put them in different pans and get their ideas on it, what I've been cooking all these years. And then I used to put grape jelly in my sauce 12, 13, 14 years ago, and it just seemed to get the sweet. It was just overly sweet. I put grape jelly in. But my staff loves that recipe, so I cook it for them sometimes. And all it is, it's my sauce that's on my BBQ Champs page. Using a base of David Bosca's sweet sauce, and that recipe, and I just add a 16-ounce bottle of grape jelly to a gallon, and it's amazing for backyard. It's amazing for loin. Really great on loin. I actually have used it on loin in the last 2 or 3 years, and during a regular comp year, I might use 3 different flavors of my sauce, my base sauce, with maybe some grape jelly, or pour a little peach nectar, Jumex peach nectar in it. And I think that's something those Jumex juices are something that a lot of teams use. I think I won't go into it, but a lot of teams use them.
Right.
And it just adds different flavors, and it helps thin the sauce if you need to thin the sauce, and along with a great quality of apple juice. I'm one of those people, even at home, it drives my wife crazy, because I think my wife would eat any brand of ketchup and salad dressings, but I'm a name brand person.
Yeah, hey, I
don't use that local brand like Piggly Wiggly brand or Kroger brand. I love. The name brand. I don't know. It's probably a mental thing. I just trust it.
Yeah. Well, the consistency's probably there. All right. Got a question for you from Mr. Sean. Does Robby feel like his knowledge of fire from being in the fire service help him understanding how to run a clean fire or how fire works?
I know that I like playing around with smoke with a smoker better than I do fighting fire.
Yeah.
I'm way too old and out of shape to actually fight fire, but I still go to them. Luckily, we got young folks for that. But yeah, I think my knowledge of that helps a little bit in the sense that a lot of folks will get that really bitter flavor on their product because they don't let their fire get to where it needs to be before you start cooking. And I think any great pitmaster knows that if you're firing up your smoker, you need to fire it up and let it be running a good 2 hours before you're ready to put anything on it. And if you're adding, like me, I cook on a stump smoker, vertical feed, insulated pit. And I put peach wood and cherry wood in my firebox for the ash, for the hot coals, the embers to drop down on it. That's what creates my smoke flavor, my specific flavors, which are a little bit of peach, which is a mild flavor wood that just adds. It's really good on pork, in my opinion, and chicken. And you want to put those pieces in there before you put your meat on, at least 15 or 20 minutes, and let them get to smoking, because you don't want the bitterness of an unclean smoke. You can look at somebody's smoke. If they're pumping black smoke, dark smoke, their product's going to be
pretty nasty.
Not going to be good. You want a clean white, light blue smoke pumping out of that, and that's just my thoughts on it. Does it relate to firefighting? I know that I've tasted food that tastes like it came out of a house fire before. It wasn't mine, but so that's a good question.
You got to have a clean smoke.
I think my knowledge of knowing of firefighting helps me to know that I just need to watch every detail. That would be the only correlation there with firefighting, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Brian said we took your class 3 or 4 years ago. It's a game changer. Great guy. So
Brian and his bride are a fun couple to be around, and he's become a steak master. He and his wife both are going back to Texas this year, I think, after their success on the SCA. So and they're heck of barbecue competitors also. They're tough down in the FBA and stuff. Good folks.
Yeah. Which comp meat is your best favorite to cook? Ooh, I know mine's brisket. I love my brisket. So
my best product, in my opinion, is whole hog. But a lot of folks don't do that. But I will go with, it's a toss up between brisket and pork loin.
Yeah, your pork loin.
I don't like to boast, but I'm really good at pork loin.
Your pork loin is freaking special, buddy. I'm telling you right now, that was one of the best. It wasn't one of the best. It was the best pork loin that I ever ate. And your pork butts
I appreciate it.
Were freaking amazing. That injection that you put in those pork butts, to me, was freaking just absolute money.
Yeah.
And this question came from Mr.
It's been good for me.
Oh, it's been good. And Danny said, talk about your chicken thighs. Yours look perfect every time. Danny, I'm telling you right now, his dadgum chicken thighs, golly, that chicken thigh was one of my best chicken thighs, I think, in our class. It's top 2 or 3 out of the guys that are doing them. Your chicken was amazing. So,
well, if folks haven't taken my online class yet, for those that have, I appreciate it. And I think I actually fixed one comp leg in that.
Yeah, you did.
While we were filming here at the house, when we were doing a little backyard showing of how I do leg quarters, and I took a leg quarter and broke it down for a leg turn in, and but thighs are the key to thighs are just being consistent. I don't weigh them out. There's a lot of folks that'll weigh thighs out, but I love to choose a pack of thighs or packs of thighs for competition. I love white skin chicken. White skin. Don't get the yellow because it doesn't render as good, and it's not as bite through. But white skin chicken, and I always try to find a pack of chicken that averages a pound and a quarter per thigh. because I'll start out, with, as you saw and as you see on the class, a nice big old thigh, and it's
You
an
can
art.
shape it.
It's an art trimming thighs, and I feel like I'm decent at it. I don't use shears. The tricks I teach in my on my online class and in my live classes, I don't use shears. I don't trust that there's not going to be a flake of bone to get somewhere or whatever. I like using um, a cleaver, a very sharp cleaver to trim those bones. And a lot of folks say, well, why do you even trim chicken thigh bones and or cut the knuckles off? I think the marrow adds flavor. Plus, it lets that any blood that might get caught in that chicken. I don't pull the vein. I've never pulled the vein. I've never been DQ'd. Um, I don't like getting in there and messing with the meat, but I like to cut the knuckles off so that it adds flavor without doubt. But it also helps get all that blood out while you're cooking it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Since you've accomplished so much already in barbecue, have you considered focusing more on different types of cooking competitions like SCA? No, but I'm trying to get him down here for an IBCA competition. I can tell you that. So
I'm definitely coming to visit with Mike, do an IBCA. I'm gonna hang with Mike and watch an IBCA. Then I'll see if I'm gonna go fool with half chickens or not. I've been cooking a few SCAs. My first SCA I cooked against Brian Coleman and his wife down in Jacksonville, I think 2 years ago. I think there was 64 steaks, and I just winged it. Somebody brought me a PK grill with some grill grates. Miss Peggy Grimes. She said it matched my trailer and it deserved to stay with me, and I appreciate that from her. It was an early Christmas present or a late Christmas present, I guess. And I cooked that steak, and I came in ninth that night. And I will say that I almost got hooked. Again, it's just hard. I love cooking barbecue competitions, and I hadn't missed an event here in Georgia until 2 weeks ago, and it was bittersweet not going to that. But yeah, I love SCA. I'm learning some kinks. I've cooked 3 other contests. I think I came in 16th in 2 of them out of like 40, and I think I came in 21st at one I cooked back in October at a barbecue competition we had, and I should have done better that night. I just I don't think about. I'm thinking barbecue. I know it's one bite, just like barbecue. It's great flavor. My steak is amazing that we cook here at the house on about the 4th, 5th bite, and then it just sticks with you. They're only getting that literally one little bite of the steak, and you need to overpower that seasoning, in my opinion. And I know that John and Terry and Shauna and all them guys guys and gals that do steak regular, especially on BBQ Champs and do well in the SCA, they'll tell you got to have great flavor for that one bite. They're not going to know if it's too salty or too spicy until it's too late, till they've already scored you. So,
right.
But yeah, I plan on cooking a few more SCAs. They're starting to get more widespread here in Georgia with our barbecue comps, and I'll cook any SCA that I go to that's at a barbecue comp. I won't travel just to cook a steak. But
right, yeah.
It's fun. It's good eating for the second one.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. And that's the same thing. I want to do, there's several times we've had SCA events at our IBCA competitions, and I want to focus on my barbecue. That's what I do, but I really am getting more where I'd like to go do some of these SCAs. Yeah. So I'm having that hard time of, I'm in the middle of my injections and everything on a Friday night, and then I got to go cook a steak, and I just don't think I'm going to be as focused on the steak, and I don't practice. I don't care about practicing on the steak. Nothing
wrong with doing both, but I'm the same way, Mike. I've never really cooked ancillary category unless it was like here in our GBA or Georgia Barbecue Association. We're just loin, butt, and ribs. If they have a brisket ancillary, 9 times out of 10 I'll cook that brisket ancillary. Because I know I've got a good shot at getting in that top 2 or 3 and winning my money back plus some.
Right.
But I've never done the chicken wings and the desserts. If you're serious about your barbecue, if you're a small team like you and I, it's just you and your wife, me and my wife, and maybe me and Danny on occasion. if you only got 2 folks, you can't do that
It's hard
and
to.
be you. There are folks that are successful, but if you want to win at barbecue, you got to focus on your timeline, your products, your recipes, and go for it thoroughly. When I say I don't practice, I literally don't. But I've been doing it, man. I could walk you through any of my timelines, whether it's KCBS, NBN, FBA, or GBA, without the paper laying in front of me.
Yeah.
But if you take a class like taking our BBQ champ classes and champs classes and anybody that does online, those folks are going to have to go practice. They got to go practice, period. Because you're just not going to be able to come to a class or take a class and then go cook it. It's an art. It's an art without a doubt.
Being prepared, that's the thing. Being prepared, hit your marks, get your times. It's easy, but you gotta be disciplined enough to do it. All right, Caitlin wants to know: you do fat side up or fat side down?
I am fat down.
Yeah, me too.
My rationale for that is I do Boston butts. I don't take the fat off the bottom of them. That's like a bowl that holds all the juices in. If I'm cooking a hog, I got cavity up like a huge bowl, and I feel the same way with brisket. I just think that fat helps tenderize, moisturize, and flavorize, and it's just it's what I've always done.
Right.
I've never separated until I played with an A9 brisket a while back. I've been cooking Snake River Farms since you could get them. You used to be able to get them to your door for $69. And,
yeah. Them days are long.
That's what I tell. First thing I tell folks at my class is whatever meats you start cooking and you do practice with, that's what you need to cook at competitions. If you're going to cook a Wagyu of whatever kind, whatever brand at a competition, that's what you need to practice with, because that practice is what you're doing and what you will learn. Even though every piece of meat's not identical, the basic textures and stuff are similar. And the product is packaged the same, it's treated the same, and so forth. So that's my thought. I'm fat cap down. I just don't. I don't believe. I know folks say they like fat cap up because all that fat drips down through the meat. No, it don't.
No, it don't.
It rolls off the sides.
It can't penetrate the
sides.
protein.
Yeah.
People say that it will not penetrate that protein.
Yeah.
I promise you. Anybody that says that it will, I got news for them. It will not penetrate it. So,
hey, Merry Christmas, Brian Case, and thank you for that comment.
Yeah. So let's see. Antonio, I know he was one of the new guys that had bought your class, online class this year. He said he got a 7th place in the ribs. So that's congratulations to him. Sean, met you in Donisville this year. So gracious with your time. Great guy. Yes, he absolutely is.
Yeah, Sean looked up and came around at the right time. He got to come in and actually watch me play with some ribs, and from pulling them out of the foil to glazing them, and he was there when I put them in the box. So it's always good to see some of our alumni drop by, and we're always welcome for you to come in. I am, anyways. I don't have any secrets, and if it's folks I don't know, they see all kinds of stuff up there on my spice rack, and I know Sean saw some things that I don't teach in the class. They're there, but I do what I teach in my class, probably 99% all the time.
Yep. Let's see. The GBA organizers are starting to pair a fair amount of SCA contests with barbecue for us big trailer toting folks. Yep, that's good. I think that's really the way to do it. I think it's really good. You bring the SCA in with the barbecue, I think they will get more people, because you'll have maybe a half a dozen or so, or a dozen of the people in the barbecue will jump over there. So there's Mr. Lee Hickle.
Hey, Lee,
he jumped on here and said, I ran your pork butt recipe in Augusta, Georgia, and hit a 180.
I sure hate I didn't make it to Evans, or up there to Evans to cook with Lee. I was sure looking forward to that. Just again, the job's got to come first. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Robby, let me know some SCA and barbecue comps combined, and I will come cook with you. Mr. Terry, I'm telling you.
Hey, I'm in the process. I'm gonna help our women's club. They don't want to do a barbecue event, and they want to know what I can do to help them raise money. And there's good money for an organizer in an SCA event, and I'm gonna organize one. I don't want to give the whole thing away coming up in 2021. I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but it's going to be it's not going to be a double. It's going to be a triple. But there's going to be, for every team that cooks the triple, there's going to be a huge grand prize and first and second place overall for the triple. You know, all three of your steak points added together, and it's going to be a huge prize. And I think we'll pull 100 SCA teams down here to a little old campground that we got. Looking forward to that, and hoping I get Terry and Shauna, and I know John Lindsay will come for that for sure. And everything. But yeah, Terry, we need to tag team and do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd love to get you two guys together. That's the one good thing with our BBQ Pitmasters, Steak Grill Masters, and these things coming together. It's so good to be able to get all of y'all together. So,
but you know, as consistent as I feel like I am with barbecue, and I still learn something all the time. Folks, teams that take my class and then they say, hey, come over here and let me show you this, and I'll go try their food and see how it is and stuff like that. And I see something in their trailer that they're doing. I'm like, you know, that's a dang good idea. Little shortcuts, little techniques, and I steal from my students too. So but I do feel like I'm way lacking in the state competition world for sure. So,
well, we don't do it.
I've purchased a couple of the SCA. I purchased Shauna's, and that's very enlightening, and it definitely helped me on my first state competition. I wouldn't have got that ninth without Shauna's class.
Yeah,
so
he does an amazing job.
Yeah.
So, on the practice of what you cook comp, if you can cook a killer ribeye, in your opinion, do you stand a chance? Well, in KCBS, you might not. So
yeah, I think if you cook them on a regular basis and you can get them to that tenderness, a prime is I know folks that have never cooked a Wagyu and do great.
I love them.
But a prime has great flavor. You're just gonna have to cook it longer and to a higher temp than I would a Wagyu.
Right.
You know, folks say, well, what temp do you cook to? Well, that depends. What type of meat are you cooking? You know, whereas
temperature,
I know that
everything else.
A Snake River Farms is generally ready when it's 205, 206 in the point. I don't never temp in the flat because I cook my flat and point together. I cook a packer. But the A9 that I cooked that the butcher shop sent me to try and everything, nothing wrong with it in the world. It's just shaped way different than a Wagyu. But I had to carry those burn-ins way to a higher temperature than the flat, you know. And same with a prime or a choice. You've got to practice with them. But yes, I think you got a chance without a doubt. I think the consistency of something like a Snake River Farms Wagyu or A9 Wagyu, brisket to brisket to brisket to brisket, will make you more consistent. And think about it like this: if you cook a good steak at home, you're paying $13, $14 a pound. You get a Snake River Farms to your door ready for comp for $9, $10 a pound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems bad that you're spending $180, but you're fitting to win a $2,500 grand if you hit all four categories. You know.
Yeah, so that's true. You got to have it. Let's see. Where are you looking? Is that triple you was talking about? It was going to be in Georgia, wasn't it?
It's going to be right here in little old Ashburn, Georgia.
In Georgia, okay.
Yeah. It'll be 3 contests, probably $3,000 per contest given away, and then probably a $3,000 grand and a $1,500 to $2,000 second place overall. It'll be a really good comp.
Yeah. Are you still cooking on your gravities?
Yeah, Bill, I still cook on nothing but stump smokers. I have a stretch that I've had since 2006. It's been amazing. It's on its third paint job and its third set of seals. But you take care of them. They're like family, and they'll take care of you and last. And then I also on my trailer right now I have a XL Baby. It's an amazing pit for ribs or for brisket. And I also have a Titan that I use here at the house. I have a couple other pits here at the house, stump smokers pits, but those are 2 that I have on my trailer.
Yeah. I tell you what, you got some nice ones. Robby was the only guy that we've had to go to his place to go film him because it was at the very, very beginning, and we was trying to get this thing launched, and he was like, well, I can't get down there until like May, and I was like, that's too late, you know. I was like, no, I can't wait. So we made the 16-hour drive with all of our filming equipment to go and film Robby's class at his place, and it was a good experience. You had a great setup, got a chance to see all your amazing trophies and stuff like that. And I mean, when I saw your Pitmasters trophy, I was like, man, it was just absolutely beautiful to be able to see that. And I tell you what, it was awesome. It really, really was. So
I've been very fortunate and blessed. I cannot deny that. I've never tried to gloat about it or anything like that. But when you cook a lot of years, and listen, all you got to do is have a funny accent like I have and have pretty eyes, and you can get on TV. That's all it was. It's not because I could cook barbecue. It's because I could halfway cook barbecue.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, goodness. Anybody else got any questions for Mr. Robby? So what you going to be cooking for Christmas, Robby?
We're probably going to either grill ribeyes or do a prime rib. That's what we normally do at Christmas. We do turkey and dressing and ham at Thanksgiving, and then it's crazy around here for Christmas with 4 grandyoungins, 3 kids,
right.
And so the steaks are way easier to handle than cooking a huge course meal, and everybody loves something because they're going to get turkey and dressing everywhere else. So we normally probably just grill some ribeyes. I'll get me a nice prime loin and cut them myself and so forth.
That's what. Last year was the first year I cooked I always do briskets. I've done brisket and ribs for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, 3 years, 4 years at least. And last year, my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, I just love my brisket." And I was like, my wife was like, "Well, why don't you cook a prime rib?" So last year I did a prime rib, and I cooked the whole prime rib. And then she said, "What are you going to do this year?" Why don't you just do steaks? And I was like, "Well, I'd have to cook 6 or 8 steaks." And I was like, "I don't know if I." She said, "Well, then just do a prime rib." So I don't know. I've got some prime ribeye steaks in the freezer. So I don't know. I may just cook those. I'm either going to cook prime ribeyes, or I'm going to go cook a whole prime rib. So, and
my thing with prime rib, if I cook a prime rib, I'm still going to have to slice it up and throw it on the grill for a couple of them, So it's just easier for me to just grill that 14 ribeyes out there on the grill that I'm going to need.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ribeye roast for Antonio. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I love just give me a good prime rib, man. Slice that thing off into some nice 3/4 inch, 1 inch pieces and cook that thing medium rare. Reserve a little of that au jus. I'll wrap it just to get some nice au jus off of it. And oh my God, I treat it like a brisket. I mean, to me, it's people like, I do it the same as my brisket. When I cook that steak, people's like, "You had a 4th place steak. What'd you put on it?" I said, "I used my brisket rub." So, and anybody wants to know, I mean, that's it. It's a piece of meat. It's beef, baby. It's what's for dinner. So,
that without a doubt. That's prime rib is an amazing product, and I do the exact same thing. I treat it. The only thing I do different is I'll put a really good coat of kosher salt over the outside to go with my rubs. Yeah, because that crust is really good.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing that hits my brisket. People are like, what do you put on your brisket? I said, salt, pepper, garlic. That's my first 3 rubs. Yep. I tell people that all the time. I mean, I'm just the salt, pepper, garlic guy, and I got a couple little rubs that I put on it, and that's it. I keep it simple, but
you got great stuff for prime rib right there behind you. I mean,
I do.
Great products up there.
I got so much product around here. Like Lee Hickle called me up one day, and I think it was his first cousin. He said, "Hey, my first cousin's up there about 30 miles from you in Shreveport. He's needing some rubs." And I was like, "Well, send him by. What is he?" "Well, he needs some of this." He was going to a comp. He didn't have time to get the rubs in. And I was like, man, if you saw all the rubs that we have, let's see if I can do this here. So how many rubs do we have here at BBQ Champs? Well, let's see. We got all of Brian Crawford stuff. We got Joey Smith stuff. We got David Bosca stuff. We got pepper jelly stuff. And then let's get over here a little bit further.
Yeah.
And then you can just take a look over there. I got Daigles, I got Heath Riles, I got Big Papa Smoker, I've got Luton Booty Barbecue, I've got Texas Oil Dust. I've got about all of them. So I've got a kind of a warehouse fear. I mean, all you guys are dropping off stuff when
I'm
they're
the
cooking.
same way. I'm the same way.
And it's just, hey, it's what we do. So I told him, come on by, man, we'll hook you up. And he came by and, well, I'll take a bottle of that and I'll take a bottle of this. And good, take what you need, man.
Well,
So
it's like I told somebody that watched David Bosca's. They told me they bought David's videos, which are amazing videos in their own right by a great pitmaster. But they said they own mine and they own David's now. And he said, looking at when I think it was who was released with me. It was me and Joey.
you and Corey.
Corey
Mike
were the first
two. Were the
Yeah,
first
they
two.
made the comment there was only about 5 or 6 rubs on your metal rack behind where y'all videoed on those, but they said after David's they noticed there's about 300 different rubs and sauces and injections.
Did somebody tell you that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm trying to remember who it was. But
funny.
They said it. I have to look back over on my BBQ Champs page, and it was
that is funny.
There.
Yeah, when we first started, I had 2 racks, and I just grabbed all the rubs that I used, and I had a handful of rubs. But over the time, we've got David's, we've got Craig's, I've got partners that come in with Be Extreme and Brian Crawford, and we've got Gunnar Wilhelm knives and B&B charcoal, and I mean just people love to be on our set and Lumberjack and all these guys, and it's just
I actually used Lumberjack when I cooked my steak the other night. Man, it held some heat and it was really hot fire.
It is.
I'll definitely give that some more trying and playing around. That's probably the only thing I do practice, but I do it on my pellet grill. That's what Stephanie and I grill on. Right. Is I do try to cook a comp steak every time that she and I cook and eat, because she loves them a little rarer than what a comp steak needs to be, but I like comp doing this on steak. So, but it's different when you're out there cooking on that, trying to cook 2 minutes on each side and stuff like that compared to here. My steaks are amazing here, but I just haven't hit what I wanted out of the comp yet. I will.
Yeah. Well, Robby, I enjoy you being here with us, buddy. We went a few minutes over, but I just want to try to give you a good 40 minutes worth of time. So seems like all the questions have come in. Got anything else for us?
Well, what I'll say is just thank y'all for being patient, and I do apologize for being late.
Oh, no problem, man.
Just keep your first responders, your folks at the hospitals, your military in your prayers right now. It's a tough time. And their families, because it's a tough time, and just enjoy your holiday season. Thank the good Lord for everything that we have and our privileges, and the BBQ Champs Academy. If you haven't picked something up for your favorite cuer or somebody that you want to become your favorite barbecuer, whether it's mine, whether it's David's or Corey's or Lee's or Mark's, whoever's, Terry, John Lindsay, Shauna. Let me tell you, it's a cool gift that they can watch over and over and over. And, I don't think we're here trying to sell nothing, but except just have a good time and talk about Q. But without a doubt, what you started, Mike, with BBQ Champs has definitely carried the SCA to a new level, without a doubt. With you and John Lindsay's probably he's young into this. And he calls me his true barbecue hero. He says, I'm the only reason that he's cooking anything today. That's very humbling. But at the same time, he is probably one of the greatest ambassadors for that sport or any sport that I've ever seen. And he's a good man. And I just wish him all the best. But I wish everybody all the best. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hopefully a great New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to all. I appreciate it. Robby, I appreciate you, man, being part of BBQ Champs Academy. You was the second person. I called Joey, and then as soon as I got off the phone with Joey, the next day I called you, and I told you the whole deal, and you was on board, and I appreciate you being part of BBQ Champs Academy. You're a true gentleman. You're a great man, and if people only knew you, I know you got a bad rap sometimes from the BBQ Pitmaster stuff, but it's all good. They can say what they want. I know you. I know your heart. I think everybody else on this show knows your heart. Those people that know you know that's not you. So
well, it's like I said, they want reality. They wanted reality TV, and they wanted me to be a little bit of the outspoken, obnoxious person. They kind of push that for you. It's not bad being a black-hatted cowboy. Myron's made a fortune over it.
Yep, that's exactly true. That's exactly true. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Robby,
Yep.
for being on the show. Next week, we're going to try to have Tap-A-Q on here with their new fan assist and the wireless probes and stuff. That's going to be our game plan. We'll try to shoot for that next week. Once again, I hope everybody's enjoyed our show. We appreciate you every week being here. Thank you for helping all those that have taken our class. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your support and your outpouring of shout outs for us for all the competitions. Don't forget this weekend, if you're a SEA cooker and you're out cooking, you've taken one of our classes, make sure if you hit that podium, you give us a shout out.
Absolutely.
Post on your video, post on your Facebook at BBQ Champs Academy. Let me know how you've done. Give us that shout out. And then whoever has the highest overall score of any SEA competition across the United States, if you've taken one of our classes and you did those two things, shouted it out and put it on Facebook, we're going to give you $100. We appreciate everybody doing that for us. Robby, brother, have a very happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm sure maybe between now and then I may reach out and talk to you, but if I don't, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. To all of our
I definitely want you scheduled for next year. So
yep, absolutely.
Y'all have a good one.
Yep, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I look forward to it. Hope everybody has a lot of fun. As we always say, smoke on, and we'll see you on the next one.